Hey everybody, this is Ed from the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, here with another Whiskey Short. I'm joined by Scott.
Hey everybody.
And my good friend Joe.
Hello.
And we're going to kick it to Scott, and he'll tell you what we're going to do.
Yeah, so sometime last year, this whiskey became super popular on the interwebs. And it got into the secondary market, and it was going for high prices, and then people were calling people taters for even getting it. But we have finally secured a bottle.
Yeah.
And this is Smokewagon Uncut, Unfiltered, QuickTaste. Whiskey Short. It is a high rye barrel-proof Kentucky straight bourbon. Mash bill is 60% corn, 36% rye, 4% malted barley. This is MGP's high rye bourbon mash, so they source from MGP of Lawrenceville, Indiana. The blender bottler is Nevada H&C Distilling Company out of Las Vegas. The proof of this particular bottle is 113.94. So it's a little high.
You sure it's not sourced from barrel?
Yeah, exactly.
Because barrel loves their high proof.
Yeah, and the age, there's no age statement on the bottle, but I saw that it is a blend of 4, 6, and 10-year bourbons.
Yes. This is batch number 51, which is a big deal for this particular whiskey, I find. A lot of people care about that.
Oh, really?
Actually, it was hard to get this for a while. There's the small batch is still around there. But the Uncut Unfiltered, I got this for, I want to say $75, which I thought was a really good price being at how overpriced it's been.
Yeah.
And that's probably more than I should pay for it, but we wanted it and we got it, and I'm happy to be here doing it. So why don't we taste it first and then go through everything?
Okay. Yeah. We've had this bottle for a while.
Yeah, I've had a couple of months. I'm waiting to taste it. And as our good friend Joe here is our Scotch ambassador, if you will.
So this is a little different than what he's usually drinking.
So he's kind of gotten a bourbon more from listening to us. And he did the Scotch episode with us finally a year later than we wanted him to because of COVID.
Which we haven't done yet.
We're recording right after this, but it's technically coming out before this. So we're in the whiskey wormhole. So let's take a little smell and let us know if you have any tasting notes, Scott.
I do, from Breaking Bourbon.
Has Whiskey Jug stopped producing? I haven't seen them come up online very much.
Yeah, I couldn't find this particular Smokewagon.
I hope Whiskey Jug's doing okay.
I'm sure he is.
He's one of the best friends we have that we never met.
What am I supposed to be smelling here?
I'm getting a little orange. More like a orange curacao or Grand Marnier orange.
Definitely smells very sweet.
God, alcohol, fuck.
It smells very much like there's candy notes in there. I can smell like a candy corn type of a smell, like that sweet.
Caramel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never smell candy corn. I don't care for candy corns at all.
Yeah, like a super intense sugary sweetness.
Yeah. What were the nose attributes?
Okay, so creamy caramel, light vanilla, and oak. Peppery scents slowly intertwine and highlight a dash of rye spice. And the slightest hint of ethanol tingles the nose. Slightest hint. Punches you right in the nose. The sweet yet slightly spicy combination provides a simple opening, yet one that can also be appreciated by whiskey lovers of all levels. I mean, it's a simple opening, the nose is for me. There's not much there, even though he said there was tons. There you go. We got globes, and we have distilled water and droppers now.
Yeah, really.
After 2 years, finally.
We finally got distilled water instead of just Poland Spring filtered water.
Right,
or whatever.
tap water.
So,
yeah, so
let's taste it.
Yeah.
That's strong, but it's very smooth.
Yeah.
It is very smooth. I'm not tasting that spiciness that you're saying. Maybe just a tad of that.
We'll give it a second. I think it's going to pop up on the finish. It's very sweet when you first drink it.
This is really intensely sweet, right on the tip of the tongue, right as you put it in your mouth.
I have to tell you, if you don't taste like orange curacao or Grand Marnier finish in this, I'm surprised. To me, it's incredibly prevalent now.
I do taste it. It's citrusy. God, maybe it's not orange.
Maybe.
A tangerine.
Maybe. A little lighter than an orange, a little less orangey. Scott has the good words. It's really good, but very intense.
I like that much better with the globe.
Okay.
It's hot, man.
Yeah, very hot. I'm going to put a little bit of water in mine, see what that brings out. Oh, Ed, with the water on it, there's a lot more orange.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm tasting lots of vanilla now.
Sometimes when I have like just a regular bourbon, I like to put a splash of orange curacao on it. And this tastes like I already did that.
Yeah, and it's really spicy on the tongue now. Drinking it straight, I think the alcohol was covering some of the spice, but with water on it, you get an intense sweetness, but it leaves a really sharp, spicy note on your tongue.
The flavors are certainly coming out. I'm tasting more of that when adding the water to it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I agree. So give us a little background on the distillery now while I'm letting my globe melt for another minute.
All right. So in lieu of one of us reading a narrative history of a company like we usually do, I thought we'd do something a little different.
Okay.
They have this interview posted on the Smokewagon website talking about their origin story, which is more of a conversation between the Nevada H&C Distilling founders, Jonathan Hensley and Aaron Chepenik. And I thought they kind of sounded like me and you, Ed.
Okay.
So we're going to do a dramatic reading with Ed playing the part of Jonathan and me playing Aaron.
All right.
And also I may have embellished some of the lines, just so you know.
All right. I see. I have a script here. Okay.
All right. Actually, Joe, why don't you just ask guys, what's your origin story? So then we'll get into it.
Hey, guys, what's your origin story?
Our story? You mean our origin story? Oh, man. You really have to go back to August 2004. I just finished working just after midnight and gone to check out this little joint in Eagle Rock that had been named Best New Bar by Los Angeles Magazine.
Yeah, I remember that night. Somebody said, hey, there's that local screenwriter, Jonathan something or other. I thought you looked like a homeless guy or maybe a serial killer.
Cut me some slack, man. I was under deadline. And besides, serial killers are never homeless.
Well, that's true. But actually, that Jonathan fellow turned out to be an okay guy.
Thanks, man. 13 years in business together, and I'm just an okay guy. Well, this is what I have to deal with.
We ended up talking and saw eye to eye on the bar business and decided to launch something new, which is how our bar called The Griffin was born.
Best decision I ever made.
Yeah, it definitely worked out.
Oh, tell them about where we set up shop. It was actually a no-brainer.
Vegas, baby.
And then after a few years of late night samplings of our inventory,
we found ourselves talking a little and then a whole lot about what we liked in certain bourbons and vodkas.
And what we didn't like.
Right. And then one night,
the light bulb blinked on and we both knew where the conversation was heading.
Making our own juice.
It was a bold idea, but we both said, fuck it.
Whoa, hey, man, this is going on our website. Jesus, see what I have to deal with?
And becoming the first distillery in the Vegas was an adventure, to say the least.
Yeah, the city council had to create a license for us because no one had actually done this before.
And then things got real.
Yeah, like really real. Like making diamonds in your sphincter because it's clenched so tight real.
Wow, bro. And you yelled at me for saying fuck. But anyway, to continue this theme, we never actually dealt with distilling equipment before, so we didn't know our ass from an elbow.
Yeah, and getting our equipment to pass building inspection was super fun, too. And then the state laws changed, which forced us to do everything all over again.
Well, to be fair, things might have gone quicker if you had insisted on ordering a proprietary silver metal filtration system from a country you had never heard of.
Oh, yes, the little-known country of Russia. So mysterious.
Well, you said it was Belarus.
So you have heard of it.
Again, see what I'm dealing with?
And then we had to get our bottles and packaging together.
Oh, it was right, man. But what was mostly due to Mr. Do-It-Yourself over there insisting on designing and engineering everything by himself, when you know there's actually people you can hire to do those things.
Oh, there are? Oh.
Yeah, they're called designers, engineers.
Yeah, but weren't they the ones that told us that we couldn't put a silver dollar on our bottles or use amber glass?
Well, maybe. But I will admit that our bottles and packaging are pretty bitchin'.
Well, thanks, buddy.
All in all, the process took 6 years. But unfortunately, some good actually came from all that waiting. During all the delays, we just kept laying down new bourbon to distill it, and now it's coming of age.
So once we were able to open, we hit the ground running.
Sprinting, more like it.
And that's how we got here.
We have a big-time passion for what we're doing. You know, Scott gave you all the long-ass paragraphs for saying that, everybody.
Sorry.
What the fuck? Yeah, the 3-word things, but I get another paragraph. No, I'll play along. Fine, fuck it. We have a big-time passion for what we're doing and are both grateful for the opportunity. We take a lot of pride in our products.
And of course, we're not done yet. As the new barrels mature, we're getting more opportunities to experiment with new blends, which is really exciting.
Right. In fact, Aaron will be experimenting with new blends tonight in the Griffin until about 4 a.m.
See what I have to deal with? And scene.
So that was what was on their webpage. I think I did amazing having never read it before.
Yeah, you did pretty well. So a few clarifications to what they were saying there. First of all, Jonathan Hensley is actually a successful screenwriter.
Oh.
The guy you were playing.
Yeah.
With credits like Armageddon, Jumanji, and Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Wow.
And while they were waiting to get licensed, they were sourced from MGP, and they were going to use their own bourbon.
Right.
But the Nevada law change that they talked about basically said that if you stilled your own, you couldn't also source outside.
What?
Yeah. So
What is that? What's a dumbass rule?
Yeah, well, Nevada. I don't know. So the distillate that they said that they were laying down and that was coming of age was actually MGP barrels.
That were being stored for them, right? Because we know that MGP for like something like like $2 a month or something. Really reasonable barrel storing fee. Like, if you buy the barrel from MGP, they're happy to store it like for like a ridiculous amount per month. Like,
so that's what they do. They became a rectifier instead of a distiller in their own right. So the silver dollar that they talked about in their bottles that was placed is only in their silver dollar vodka. The bourbon bottles have a wax insert. You can see it on that one.
It's an amazing bottle. I mean, it really is. It's got cross guns, says Smokewagon on it, and there's a story to where that comes from, right?
Well, while you guys were talking, I finished off the bottle. So you can turn it upside
we can
down,
turn
it inside out.
He's just been taking it right to the head.
And then we're taking Joe to the hospital. So talk about Smokewagons, what Smokewagons are. They're the guns crossed on that label.
Smokewagon is in the movie Tombstone. When Kurt Russell is challenging someone to draw down, he says, "Are you going to pull that Smokewagon and just stand there and bleed?"
Right.
And so it's a reference to a six-shooter.
Right.
So,
it was like a slang term.
Right. An Old West slang term, according to Kurt Russell in the movie Tombstone.
Yeah, so there's a gun now called the Smokewagon, even though it was a slang term before that. It's a reproduction of a Colt single-action army revolver made by the Taylors and Company Firearms, known as the Peacemaker.
Right.
It was originally in use by the U.S. Army between 1873 and 1892.
The original Army Colt started in 1860, was available during the Civil War. The Peacemaker was able to fire cartridges instead of being a ball and cap percussion. So the Peacemaker actually could fire what we would consider bullets today.
Right. The power, accuracy, and handling of the single-action army made it popular sidearm from its inception to well into the 20th century. The association with the history of the American West remains to the present century, and these revolvers remain popular with shooters and collectors.
My brother has one.
Does he?
My brother has a Peacemaker single-action
Dave
reproduction.
does.
Yep.
Wow.
Dave has one.
George S. Patton, who began his career in the horse cavalry, carried a custom-made SAA with ivory grips engraved with his initials and an eagle, which became his trademark. He used it during the Mexican punitive expedition of 1916 to kill 2 of Pancho Villa's lieutenants and carried it until his death in 1945, shortly after the end of World War II. At the beginning of the 21st century, first and second generations SAAs are highly regarded as collector's items and often considered too valuable to even shoot. In 2011, the Colt single-action army revolver won an online poll by a margin of 38% to be named the official firearm of Arizona. Is there official firearm in New Jersey, you think?
I'm sure there has to be. It's probably like a sawed-off shotgun or whatever the mob uses.
Whatever they're using in Camden these days.
Whatever they use in the mob. No,
right.
I would say also that, if I remember correctly, one of those Peacemakers that was taken off of a dead soldier at Little Bighorn turned up, and they came across it and actually turned out to be the actual gun that was at that battle. They could tell by the serial number. So that's like the coolest Peacemaker story I have.
The fact that you have a Peacemaker story at all is impressive.
Wow. So now we'll do the palate. It's been sitting on the rock enough. Let me go back to it.
Right. What are you guys tasting?
I have to tell you, it doesn't have a very long, pronounced finish, but everything up to that is just tremendous. It is sweet and delicious whiskey. It was like it was distilled for me.
I'm new to the bourbon.
Yeah.
And having it neat, it was a little too strong for me. I didn't like the
very
finish.
Strong. Yeah.
Putting the globe in there, it's spectacular.
Yeah.
It really is spectacular for me.
Do you taste the spiciness on it?
Yeah, it tickles the back of my throat. Like,
I did when it was neat.
And not so much when you have the globe.
Not with the globe.
Yeah, I don't have a globe on mine. Globe is too much water for me. Yeah. But I added some drops of water in it, and the spiciness just ramped up for me.
So I can see people saying that this is overrated, and I can see people loving it. It's sweet. It's complex enough. It doesn't have a long finish, which you would expect for a whiskey of this price and proof, but the finish it does have is nice.
Right, so let's see what they say on the palate and the finish. The palate, the sip opens up with a light, creamy caramel and dry oak. The flavors quickly transition to a swirl of heavy rye spice, green peppercorn, aged oak, and vanilla. That I totally agree with.
Yep.
The lighter sweet notes help tamper down the rampant spicy notes, resulting in a bold sip that toes the line of overdoing it, yet doesn't go so far as to ruin the sip.
In the neat, I agree with all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the finish. Dry oak and leather are quickly overrun by a bright burst of rye spice. This spice lingers, adding a depth of heat to the finish throughout. Hints of sweet vanilla and caramel flash, but ultimately the finish transitions to a woody spice combination that gently fades away.
I mean,
I agree with that.
Yeah, lots of there. I mean, no one's tasting the orange in that.
No,
that
they're not. And I totally taste the orange.
And like I said, not the citrus, but like the orange liqueur.
Or you might even be more specific as just say Grand Marnier.
Yeah. Right.
If you're going to be pretentious, be pretentious.
Right. Or
little bitch.
Or pretending. Pretendish.
Well, they have the same root word.
Pretend to know what you're doing.
They have the same root word. They're cognates, right?
All right.
All right, so what else do we have here? That's it. Oh, wait. You want to talk about some of their other Smokewagon
Yeah,
whiskeys?
real quick. Just what else is out there for people?
Yeah, real quick. So they have regular releases and limited releases. We'll just go over the regular releases. They have the Smokewagon Straight Bourbon, which is the same mash bill. That's 60 corn, 36 rye, 4 malted barley. It's a much lower proof. It's 92.5. No age statement. Tasting notes are grains, floral notes, light caramel with baking spice and black pepper. That goes for 35.
Yeah, it's very approachable and you can find that.
Their other one is the Smokewagon Small Batch Straight Bourbon. Same mash bill, 100 proof, 4 to 5 years, super creamy with baking spices, hints of burned oak and black pepper. $50.
Yeah, I've seen it for 45 too. You can find that one.
Yeah. But this one is their highest of their regular release
Uncut,
expressions.
unfiltered, straight, hard to find.
Only bringing the best to you on the Whiskey Tangent Podcast.
And what did you find a price for this?
Oh,
Oh, you didn't look it up.
I didn't.
Yeah, like I said, I think I got it for 75.
Let's look it up right now.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember where I got it.
I think the next time I'm going to have this, I'm not going to put it on a globe. I'm just going to put a splash of water in there.
Yeah.
Because I think as the globe is watering it down, I'm losing those flavors.
Right.
Yeah.
I have fished the globe out and thrown it into another glass because I was done with where it went. My normal thing is I tend to drink faster than the globe hurts
Well, I
me.
took my neat glass and I started pouring it in
Yeah,
over
that-
the globe
right.
because it started watering
And
it
that
down.
works too.
Pour it in
Yeah.
from the bottle. There's more in the bottle.
There's nothing left in the bottle.
Oh, right. You drank it all.
I
I
I
forgot.
drank the whole bottle.
I forgot.
113 proof.
I'm not, well, let's see. Uncut, unfiltered. Sounds like my weekend. Cask Cartel, $150.
They're insane.
Not a $150 bottle.
No, the secondary market gets crazy, but
Oh, especially with this one. There's been some controversy. I read an article and then some blogger or somebody on Reddit or something really trashed them and they got mad at them. This is a whole...
What, the Smokewagon or
Yeah,
the-
the Smokewagon. Yeah.
but no. So go total. What does Total Wine say for it? They're usually
Oh, shit. I just closed it.
okay. So you came up with the 150, the bat, and never went to another number.
No.
Way to go all in on that.
Well, Cask Cartel is one that we've mentioned before.
I'll wait. I will wait.
Smooth. Yeah. Testing my editing skills right now.
So Joe, if you mess up, you just stop and repeat it.
Yeah,
That's why I
as
try
we've
to-
done several times
Right, already.
tonight.
So if you say poke wagon,
Hello.
So Smokewagon, just reset and just poke my wagon. What?
Whoa. Unfiltered Uncut from Total Wine. They don't seem to have it.
I can't remember where I got it. I go to so many liquor stores. I'm always going in looking to see if they have something. You know.
Yeah. I see Caskers has it for $107.99.
Yeah. So I think the 76, 76.
That was a great deal.
I
you
got a great price of 76.
Yeah. Especially for how high proof it is. Like we did the Caribou Crossing short, the mass market Canadian whiskey that they're obviously selling for uptick. And Jeff's wife got it for like $100.
Did you just say his dick is up?
Uptick.
Oh. Yeah. All right.
Wait, hey, you're getting the vibe of the podcast already. It's pretty good.
I'm going to have to move over a little bit away from him.
Well, I'll turn toward the wall. How about that? And she bought it for about 100 and it was only 80 proof. And we got salty about it because don't sell something for over $50 that's only 80 proof
Right.
in a bourbon world. You can't do it. You can do
Right.
it in the Scotch world, which we will find out later, or you heard a week
it
ago.
happened earlier.
Happened earlier, but we didn't do it yet.
It hasn't happened yet.
So let's wrap it up. And what do you think?
When we get to $75, I mean, you got to be strict, right?
Yeah.
It's really good. I enjoyed it. At $75, would I buy a bottle a year? I think I would. It's that good for me. It's my profile. Unless I hit the lottery, I wouldn't have this in the carafe on the bar every day. It's a yes for me at 75, but like once a year.
I feel like you're Paul Abdul.
You know, Smokewagon, you're so beautiful. You've given us your all. Like, this is try so hard to be so orangey, even though no one else sees it but me.
You're an American Idol.
I'm going to have to agree with you, Ed. I thought this was very good and new to bourbon recently. I didn't really like it straight. Next time I have it, I'm going to have to just put a splash of water. I want to go out and try to find it, not at $150 a bottle.
No. If
But
you can get
I
it at 70.
find it at 75, I'll go 80, maybe even 85 and have it on my bar.
Yeah, and that's my point. So, like, it's special enough that if I see it at 70, I'm like, oh, I'm getting a 74. I'll get
Right.
it. Bang. That's
I will have to keep my wife away from it and tell her it's an 85.
Yeah, this might be a
bottle.
sock drawer bottle for
Sock
you.
drawer
Joe.
bottle. Next on the Whiskey Tangent podcast, sock drawer bottles.
That's right.
So back to your point of saying that you didn't like it neat, but you put water on it. This is set at a proof to do just that. Putting a little bit of water, it's really really good. I will say, though, I don't find it any more distinctive than, say, something from Barrel or any other rectifiers who do this type of thing, blend their own things.
I don't think it's better than Baker's. And Baker's is like 65, and I can find it everywhere. So
does the bottle give them any props there? It's a spectacular bottle.
It's very nice. It looks like a tall, skinny Bib and Tucker bottle, that old-timey.
Oh, right, yeah, just the outside.
Just the outside. It's got the, what is that, vines and flowers, raised glass, wax seal with the guns crossed on it.
Yeah. All right. So we're good.
It's good.
So if you have a chance to taste any of the Smokewagons, you're not going to be disappointed at the price point where they're at, which is like $32 and like $48.50. This one, it's worth a try once. If you don't like it, don't get it again. But I might even order for the locker. It might be easier to get it in the locker than it is to find it in the store.
And I would drink yours. So
that's right.
There we go.
There we go. So for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, thanks so much for tuning in for our Smokewagon Uncut, Unfiltered, Straight Bourbon Whiskey Short. I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
I'm Joe.
Cheers, everybody.
Later.